For over 80 years, Wittrock Motor Company, a third-generation family-owned dealership, has been investing in the Carroll area since 1935. The story begins there, in 1935, when Michael August Wittrock went to work for his cousin, Kelly Stallman, at Stallman Motor Company in Carroll. Then in 1940, Wittrock bought the dealership and is still in continuous family ownership. In 1970, Wittrock bought a familiar and historic building from Mort Mackey, previously McCoy Motors. That building, which sits at Highway 30 and North Carroll Street, housed the dealership until 2005, when Mike's son, Michael Ernest, and grandson, Kevin, moved to the new facility, which anchors the west side of Carroll at Highway 30 and 71. All along the way, the Wittrock family has been a huge part of the Carroll area and will continue to do so. Wittrock Motor Company of Carroll, since 1940. We are back here for another Wittrock Motor Company Student Athlete Spotlight interview, and today we have Vanessa Ayala from the Carroll Tigers. Just before we get started, I want to thank Wittrock Motors for sponsoring this awesome interview series we're doing. The Student Athlete Spotlight, again, is sponsored by Wittrock Motor Company in Carroll. It's a third-generation dealership started over 80 years ago. Wittrock Motor Company is a proud supporter of all of our area student athletes. Vanessa, it's great to have you here on the interview.
I'm good to be here.
Absolutely. Now, Vanessa, it's a great honor. We've had over, I think, 3 of these so far. So, obviously, we're talking with all of our student athletes, not only just with the athletic side, but the kind of personal and student side. So, obviously, you just got back from vacation not too long ago. How was that?
Best experience. I love being in the warm weather.
Yeah, exactly. Now that it's going to be getting colder here soon, especially. So the one question I wanted to start off with, you obviously just graduated. You're literally off to college here in a couple of days.
Saturday.
What does it kind of feel like to be done with high school?
I'm glad to be done with the schooling part right now, but I know obviously more is coming, but it's nice to just have this big gap where I'm doing nothing but relaxing.
What has it kind of been like to have no homework, you've been on just relaxing, no sports, no nothing? How's that been like?
It's kind of what do I do with my time? I don't really know.
So obviously the one thing, you're moving out to college, literally Saturday, you're going to college. Now, for those listening, where are you going to college?
I'm going to Iowa Central up in Fort Dodge.
Iowa Central and Fort Dodge. Do you feel like you have everything ready for your dorm?
No.
What's kind of missing in the dorm?
I'm going to stay up at my aunt's house.
Oh, really?
So she lives in Fort Dodge, and so the program I'm doing, it's the medical lab technician program.
Sure.
So through the Last Dollar Scholar and through scholarships I've gotten, I don't have to pay to take those courses. So I would be paying to live on campus, which is a lot more money just to live there.
Right.
So I'd be saving a lot by just living up there with my aunt.
That's very smart. And that Last Dollar Scholarship, I know that's been a new thing introduced from DMAC and surrounding schools. What was sort of the process, maybe for kids who are looking to kind of get applied to that? What's sort of the process of that?
I really didn't have to fill anything out. It's just there's a list of programs. And advisors and financial advisors, they're the people who kind of set it up for you. So,
from the list you saw, was it pretty expansive? Because I know some kids might be like, well, what if my program of choice is down there?
Yeah, it is. I was looking at it. I'm like, there's this many programs that people are going to for free.
Right.
But
absolutely. And talk about just your major. How did you kind of get interested in that?
So I took college chemistry here at DMAC, and I was like, okay, this is kind of fun. And I didn't really want to go to Iowa State, Ames, Ankeny, any of those, or Boone. So moving up to Fort Dodge is a little different.
Right.
And they offered that, and I was like, oh, this looks kind of interesting. Some health science classes.
Yeah, so it's kind of more working with people and trying to find ways to help others. Absolutely. So, obviously, you were looking at colleges. You kind of landed on Iowa Central and Fort Dodge. Were you looking, you said, Iowa State really wasn't, the big campus wasn't kind of your big thing?
Not really.
Gotcha. So, obviously, you probably might go to those campuses for, the football games, right?
Yeah, maybe Iowa. Iowa State.
I like that. So, Iowa Central, you're going to be living with your aunts. Obviously, college is kind of a scary thing for some kids. It's a new environment, it's a new thing. Talk to me just about some of the things in high school that got you prepared for college.
Definitely being a part of the DMAC courses, that kind of not having class every single day kind of sets me up to what am I going to do in my free time. But even throughout high school I've had a job, so doing that kind of helps. And just being part of groups like sports. being part of like a team's kind of gonna get me to be more social with people in my classes.
Sure. So if you're kind of recommending just for any high school student, whether it's a senior or an incoming freshman, when you're coming into high school, what are some things that you would recommend them doing? You said sports is obviously a big one. You talk about being involved in groups. What are just some things you would recommend them getting involved in?
Definitely like the sports. Even if you're not the most athletic, it's fun to just make friends in those different things, and definitely take advantage of those DMAC classes, because I have so many credits that I don't like class I don't have to take now because I took them in high school.
I was going to say, because now you're essentially coming in with college credit courses, and now you might be able to like graduate early if you absolutely wanted to.
So I have this fall semester and then the spring semester, and then because it's a 2-year program, I have a summer session, but I have the summer session done already, so I won't have to take those classes.
There you go. Want to get into kind of the athletic side. This is kind of the part where we are kind of the best in, me and Jeff. Talking with Jeff, I came in right around 2020, October 2020. Learned a little bit more about what your athletic career was kind of like. You blew out one knee and then you blew out the other knee.
Same knee.
The same knee.
Yes.
Okay. So talk to me about that, because that's got to be a little bit tough, blowing out a knee and not playing for a majority of your high school career.
So the first time I hurt my knee, I was like, ACL torn knee? Like, no, it can't be. And then I went to MRI. It's like, oh my gosh, like this is happening. So that kind of like threw me out of the loop, like put me in this stage where I didn't want to get off the couch, didn't really want to talk to people. But luckily I have a sister. She brought my friends to my house, and they cheered me up, take me out. And then I was so excited to get back into things, maybe a little soon, but then it happens again. And it kind of, I had a little more positive outlook this time, the second time, because I kind of knew what to expect. But the best thing was, still being able to be a part of, the team, even though I couldn't play.
Absolutely. And, that's, what did that experience kind of do to you? Because like you said, the first time it was scary. It was, you felt a little bit alone. What did it do for you in the long run? What did it kind of teach you?
That I can contribute to a bigger part of something without being a direct part of it.
Want to talk about, you got the opportunity to actually come back this senior season, finally.
I know.
Had a whole softball season. So what was that kind of like? Because I know when you come back from an injury or multiple injuries, it's got to be tough, because, you got to get back into kind of that athletic form, and you got to get back into relearning the game a little bit. What was that kind of like this season?
So through track, I had lifted and it kind of helped me, but through softball, I was a little hesitant again because I didn't wear a brace.
Oh, sure.
The doctor I went to said they recommend it, but obviously you don't have to. But it's kind of scary relearning everything, because I don't want to make a wrong step or move too fast. But
yeah, exactly, because that's the thing. It's you don't want to be too careful, but you also want to play at the same speed.
Exactly.
You also mentioned state track, obviously. You went down there and, if I remember correctly, through discus?
Yes.
There we go. So you got down to state track. What was that experience like?
Literally the best thing, especially junior year. I missed it. Wait, was it my junior year or sophomore year? No, it was my junior year. I missed it by just a couple inches. So
absolutely,
making it was probably a highlight.
Kind of that check mark, that last check mark for the senior year.
Yes.
Also, talk to me just a little bit about playing with your sister Josie. Obviously, you said she was a big help through that injury process. What has it been kind of like playing with her?
Well, I played with her for not very long before she got hurt. But then, having her come back, it's just nice to finally, and then, it being the last thing we do together, finally experiencing that.
Talk to me just about some of the other things you were involved in high school. You talked about the DMAC classes. Obviously, you were involved in sports. What were some of the other groups and activities you were involved in over at Carroll High?
So I did basketball, track, softball, and volleyball for just a couple of years. I did some silver cord hours. I did some tutoring. I volunteered places. Other than that, I wasn't really too much a part of the band stuff.
Sure.
I never really got into that, but.
Yeah, so just kind of things outside of the community, and things, or I should say outside of school, inside the community of helping people and helping others. What did that kind of do to you? What kind of lessons did you learn from those experiences?
That it's kind of like makes me think of like stuff bigger than me. Like everyone could use an extra help of hands. Some people just need to be talked to, just stuff like that.
The one thing I want to ask you, of course, you're moving literally to college this Saturday. What's one thing you're going to miss, or even just some things you're going to miss about high school, whether it's the sports or just what are some things you're going to miss about high school?
Like looking at all these people getting ready, like buying school supplies, like even I saw not the other day the media day for volleyball, football. It's like, wow, I don't get to do that anymore.
Right.
But just like the people, my family, friends, just being like a drive away. But.
And obviously you're going to Fort Dodge, a 2-year school. What are your kind of plans after that, or have you not thought that far out?
Have not thought that far out.
Just kind of a feel, and we'll see what happens at that
exactly.
point. So obviously you've been sidelined with all these injuries and stuff. After college, at some point, do you see yourself getting back into sports, either coaching or just something to do with sports?
I've thought about coaching. I've thought about, like, once Josie and I are all done, I think it'd be pretty cool to coach with her.
Kind of the dynamic duo, right? So
yeah,
softball
exactly.
action. So essentially we're looking at the next generation of Carroll softball coaches in this area. One last thing before we kind of wrap up this interview. You're going to college. It's an exciting process. You've just got back from vacation and now, boom, you're getting back into it. What's one thing you're really excited about for the upcoming semester?
Just like the new environment. I have been up to Fort Dodge a couple of times to visit, but like learning the streets like I know Carroll. You know, like feeling comfortable, meeting all these new friends. It'll be fun.
Yeah, just kind of the new process of learning new people, new towns, and just figuring your way.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Well, Vanessa, it's been great talking with you, catching up with you. Good luck in college. Hopefully at some point we'll bump into you, but we wish you good luck.
Thank you.
Once again, Vanessa Ayala of the Carroll Tigers. She is this month's Wittrock Motor Company Student Athlete Spotlight. There we go.
Perfect.
Wow. You know...